Hi, this is Stacia, and today I'm going to share a tournament game that I played. This is online, part of the Tuesday Tussle, and this is round one of the tournament. So this particular tournament is one game per week, and the time control is 45-minute with 15-second increment played on Lichess. We are still in the pandemic. The vaccine is starting to roll out, but for now, online chess is all I have. So I do take these games seriously. So let's have a look at this one. I think my USCF online rating is currently about 1670. So definitely looking to pick up some points and get that over 1700. Okay, so I played 1e4, and I did some prep this game and noticed that 90% of the time, he plays a Sicilian, so I was very much looking forward to a Mora. And then he played this. So e6. Yeah, and I was going to look at the French. The French and the Caracan are the other two things he plays, but whatever. E4, E5, or I'm sorry, D4, D5 is what I meant. So here I play the Tarrasch variation with knight to d2. So the idea is that if white continues with their full assault on my d4 pawn, then I put the knight here because I'm going to put this knight on f3 and put this knight on e2. And that way the two knights defend d4. It's a really nice way to play against this. So if they do this variation, like this happens a lot. Bishop g3 here, and then knight here attacking the pawn. I would probably go here now defending it. Queen b6 attacking the pawn, and then you have that knight f3 move. So see how that is defended nicely. But in the game, he played c5. This is the open Tarrasch. And so I honestly don't know what to do. I know that you're supposed to play knight gf3, which I did. It's a totally natural looking move, but I'm always so hesitant to put my knight here because then he could play knight f6, and after e5, we would go through that same variation. Well, actually, I'm going to show it, so hold your horses. Okay, knight c6. Yeah, I went c3. Because here I was really at a loss on what to do about my d pawn. So probably I could trade it off or take on d5 here. And we're going to look at that in a minute. But then when he played this move, I saw that I could go into that same variation, except my knight is on f3 instead of e2. And I wanted to share this interesting thing. So in my analysis, so I saw this sex a pawn, sex my d pawn, but I also saw that I might get kind of active, but without knowing this line, I didn't want to go into it. So next time I might, although I really doubt I would play c3 next time, but let's look at this because I do think it's interesting. I'm going to open the opening book now. Yeah, this is, there's only a handful of games here. Computer wants to put the knight in there. Okay, everyone played here though. Yeah, I'll turn the engine back off for a second. It's saying plus 0.5, so this is what I would expect. Bishop d3, queen b6, like this is the plan of, winning the d pawn. And here, I don't have this knight move to further defend the pawn. The knights are stepping on each other. So I would probably castle and then expect black to win the pawn. So they could take, and then take. Yeah, computer says that's best. And even trade knights. Yeah, and this is interesting. Knight f3. And we attack the queen, and the computer says white is slightly better. So this is very interesting to me, that we can sack the d-pawn. I have heard of this happening in other lines, so I think this is really good to know. Yeah, queen b6, so black is losing 2 tempos. They lost some tempos capturing. Wow, rook b1. I wouldn't even think to play that move. I guess we really want to get our dark square bishop here, but maybe defend the pawn first. Oh, are we setting a trap? Sometimes when you play a3, you're setting a trap for the queen to take on b2 and get trapped. So like, okay, let's say bishop b7. Yeah, bishop b3. Okay. Can the queen take the pawn? Let's calculate for a second. Queen takes pawn. What do we have there? Usually there would be like a knight move, but I don't see one. It's a bishop move. Wow, is that queen seriously trapped? It is. It is trapped. These bishops are quite good at taking away the squares. Wow, that is cool. That's kind of a new one. I haven't seen it done in quite this way before. So yeah, this move a3, this is a common idea. But anyway, I'm really starting to get off the track, right? Okay, let's get back to the game. I thought that was very interesting. I had to share it though. Something I learned about the opening. Yeah, so after c5, knight f3 is the main move. I'm going to turn the engine off. So here is where I played, he played knight c6 and I played c3. Now c3 is a move played by 23 masters in lead chess. So it doesn't lose. It's okay. But I would think there's a better move here. And I thought maybe taking. Now the move bishop b5 can be played here. Let's see what the computer suggests, by the way. It wants to take, and after queen takes, play bishop c4. Okay, but what if they take with a pawn? Bishop b5. So this bishop b5 move is new to me. In this French, I mean, it's not new to me as a move. I mean, I think the idea is we're going to protect the d-pawn by pinning the knight, which is attacking the d-pawn, and maybe we'll take it. I think that's what's happening here. So let's look at the variation that starts with b5. This is important because I didn't know what to do in this opening. Yeah, knight c6, bishop b5 is a move. D takes c5 scores best for white, which, yeah, I mean, there's basically this move, which is most common, this. I considered both of these moves. I did not consider this move. So let's do this one and just see how the line goes. So we're letting them take here. I would take with a knight. That is the move. Bishop d7, unpinning. This is the move why I wouldn't play bishop b5. But here we play, okay, there's bishop g5 and d takes c5. Bishop g5 is just a tempo move, I think. Wow, queen a5 check. Well, I would have to go knight c3 now. Yep. Defending that bishop. C takes d4. Wow. And if I take here, black's slightly better in this line. I mean, I was just thinking, what if they take here, though? Oh, I get to take with check. If this wasn't with check, it would be pretty bad. Yeah, actually, white's winning now because we just dragged the king out, and this bishop is serving a nice role. You know, so that's pretty good. Wow. So that got kind of sharp. because of queen a5. Yeah, I probably wouldn't play bishop g5 to be honest. So it says d takes d5 is better. And then queen a5 check. Probably knights here. And they take back. And now what? We just castle. Yeah, I guess you can play this way. I'm going to stop here, but I might try a bishop b5 move. I also was notified by my coach, National Master Michael Jolson, that Karpov and Korchnoi, in their world champion match, the French Tarrasch made an appearance with bishop b5 like this, and like he said, like maybe 5 games. So I'm definitely going to be looking at those games to learn more about the opening and to enjoy some good chess, right? Okay, so I played c3. We're just going to move on now. I think I learned enough. The knight did come to f6. I was scared to play e5 because I knew I would sack my d-pawn. Or I thought blunder the d-pawn, but you can play that way like we talked about. So instead I decided to take the pawns off. Now I knew that something had already gone wrong, but I couldn't think of anything better. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for queen takes, because then you can play bishop c4. Notice the knight defends that square for us. But he took with a pawn, and I just traded off those pawns, giving him an isolated queen pawn. So I figured, okay, I don't love this for me, but he has an isolated queen pawn. I can blockade it pretty easy, you know, and then maybe try to win it later. But the position's probably just equal is what I thought, and that's kind of what the computer's saying. So I guess I was right. Once in a while it says things right. Okay, bishop e2. He castled, and I castled. I'm going to turn on the engine, but turn off the arrows, because, like, I don't want to, like, see immediately what it was supposed to be. Okay. I do want to think about these moves a little bit, and I want you guys to think as well. So, like, bishop f5. Interesting choice. Excellent diagonal for the bishop. Hard to argue with that one. Here, I thought I should really just untangle and get my knight on d4 as soon as possible. So I played the move knight to b3, which the computer says is best. So I'm happy to see it. Now I'm attacking the bishop. He should probably go to d6, I would think. Oh, but he went here. Yeah, he had the idea. I mean, this is probably not a bad move. I think his idea is to create the queen bishop battery and then maybe try to take my knight. So it feels like a reverse Panov attack to me, because I get positions like this with like what black has. I get that with white in the Panov. Okay, knight d4. Let's blockade. Let's see what the computer says. Wow, okay, knight bd4. Best move. Anytime black has an isolated queen pawn, you want to blockade the pawn with a knight. That's like one of the goals. So we're doing that. And now black's going to sink a knight into e4, at least they should, and play actively. So I thought his plan of creating the battery, you know, that's a plan. You know, I have to be wary of that. Yes, I think he's planning the battery. He's already targeting the knight. Although here, I'm not sure how strong it is, because my knights do protect each other. I could always replace. Okay, but I went here, defending d4. I actually wasn't sure about this move. Wow, computer likes it the best. The problem with bishop g5, I thought, is that this pin doesn't have teeth like it often would. So normally you have a knight on c3, and the knight can somehow come in and attack the knight and put pressure on the pinned piece. Here we don't have that option. We don't. My knight's are not situated for that. So I think he could just play h6. Computer says ignore it. I'm going to try h6 though. Yeah, and then come back. I mean, and I thought the inclusion of this might actually be good for him. So I didn't go for this bishop g5 thing, and I was correct not to. Bishop b3 is the right move. Okay, he's going to make a battery. I saw it coming. I started getting nervous, but I mean, I think I can just play normal here. I went rook e1. Part of the idea is I want to put my bishop on f1. Also, this is where the rook belongs. Okay, he played this. Yeah, I have to admit, against bishop d6, I was planning knight b5. Yeah, computer agrees. That would be good for me. Then I'm attacking both. I take the bishop, and there's no battery and no checkmate, more importantly. So he did this. That kind of like broadcasts to the world that he wants to play queen d6. At least that's how I felt. So, okay, I thought about playing h3 here. But I thought if I do that, yeah, I could play h3. Because if he takes the knight, h3, queen d6, I still have time to do something about that, like take the bishop on g4 then. So I think h3 is fine. I was worried about mate, but I still have time to take. Here I went queen d3. I'm trying to get my other rook into the game, but also I thought if queen d6, I was planning g3, and I thought with my light square bishop coming in, this move isn't as weakening as it would normally be. So I was okay with this. Computer agrees. It says positions equal, which is what I thought. So queen d6, there's no knight b5 anymore. I did think about knight f5. Wow, computer says it's the best move. Sometimes I don't understand moves like this. So let's look at it for a minute. So he could take the knight. But if he does that, my knight remains on f3, guarding mate. And I get the bishop pair. So that's probably why the computer likes it a lot. It's also, you know, a tempo move on the queen. It disrupts the battery. I thought maybe he could go, oh wait, there really is no good squares. Okay, I guess he would have to back off. But then my knight's attacked again. Wow, and now it wants to bring the other knight in. Okay. This knight is guarding the creation of the battery. But like, what if g6 now? I just want to know, like, I don't think this is a good move necessarily, but what happens if they try to kick my knight and then play queen d6? Computer says we jump in, check. Okay, the knight's defended by the bishop. That's nice. Now we get another tempo. Knight takes g4. Oh, I didn't even see we were attacking the bishop. Wow. Well, had I seen that, I think I would have gone for this, because now the bishop's gone, so he cannot he just lost a piece, and this doesn't do anything now, right? This doesn't do anything, and the bishop still guards the knight. I feel like white's a lot better now all of a sudden. Like, this just doesn't work now. Oh, we even have this move. I didn't even see this. Okay, I'm not seeing a lot. Good thing the computer's here to tell us. Wow, so All right, I like that move, knight f5. I'm going to file that one in my memory banks. That's a flashcard. Anytime you have an epiphany when you're analyzing, I feel like that is the flashcard you should take from the game. And if you do one per game, that's enough. That's plenty. And then review your flashcards like I have flashcards Sunday for me. That's my day that I review a bunch of stuff. And I do believe it makes me a stronger player because I remember these key ideas that I learn. So it's an information retention technique, basically. Okay, but g3 is totally fine, the computer says. He brought his rook out. I thought here, I don't want to really take here, I don't think, because he could take with a pawn, and I think that's an improved structure for him. I want to leave this pawn isolated and try to win it at some point. But we're in the part of the isolated queen pawn position where black's going to be active and jump their knight in, and we have to defend the threats. I liked this move, bishop f4. I'm going to trade off that dark square bishop. I don't even care. My pawns are on dark squares, so I felt like this is a positive trade for me. Plus, black doesn't want to trade pieces in general. So this was a good, this was a slight win for me. Very slight win. Okay, bishop f1. I just wanted to encourage more trades. And I think the bishop wants to go to g2, where he can eye the isolated pawn and put pressure there. Then next I would have to try to attack it with my rooks and knights. Okay, so he jumped his knight in. Surprised he didn't do that sooner. And then tactics started appearing. I did play bishop g2, but I was afraid of some things here. Like, it doesn't work, but I think you have to be mindful of knight takes knight. Let's see. What was I seeing here? I was seeing stuff where the knight could jump in and play check and fork. And I couldn't take because the bishop's defending, although I don't think that can happen. Like, if he did take, like, let's say bishop g2 and he takes. I mean, I can just take. I think this happens in the game. Oh, I played this move. I don't know about this one. So I think I should go bishop g2, given what happens in the game. Knight d7, I'm trying to trade, but now that I'm looking at it, it seems premature. It disconnects the knights, which are currently doing a nice job defending each other. And when I think the bishop should come here, and only then should I go with this plan, because I wanted to play f3, or at least threaten it. That would fork the knight and the bishop. And I thought here I could trade knights, but I actually missed his response, which is a good move and pretty obvious. Knight to e5. This attacks my queen. I definitely should have seen this move, but I did not. Now I have to go queen c2. I think it's the only move. And the problem with this is now he can take on d4, and my structural advantage goes away because after takes, now I also have an isolated pawn. So position must be more equal than ever. Plus I had to worry about discoveries here, but I think if he moves the knight, I can just take the queen. And he did move the knight, and I did take the queen. Okay, so he took, and here, yeah, so just to go back, I think this is my first mistake of the game. I would call my c3 move an inaccuracy, but this move, knight d7, I call a mistake. because I should have played bishop g2. Yeah, right now. Computer says black should play h6, which I don't understand. I would be more afraid of maybe the rook's doubling. But it says here I take. Wow. Why am I taking? Knight d4. Threatening f3. Oh, that's why. We just wanted to clear the square. And this threatens f3, and now the knight is well placed. Not that well placed. So this position, I guess, is slightly better for white, even after f3. Well, there is knight e5, or knight c5 rather. So I'm not going to fork him because I have to move the queen. Now he has time to move the bishop. Yeah, and he should trade, because if he doesn't trade, I can bring my rook over and attack the queen. That will be on e7. Okay. Just wanted to see how that might go if I had played this right. Okay, knight d7 though. Knight c5, good move. I kept calling that knight e5. Oh, is knight e5 even better? I was just thinking about it. This is a move too. Wow, I missed both those moves. So I need to start looking for tempo moves during my games. Queen c2 here as well. Bishop h5. Okay, just stepping out of the f3 fork. I actually like the other way better for him. Okay, queen c2, take. The knight moves. The knight has to move. I get to trade queens. Yeah, and I thought, you know, after all this, I actually thought I was slightly better. And the reason is my bishop is going to be laser focused on his weak pawn. His bishop will never attack my pawn. In fact, his bishop will probably be relegated to pawn duty and have to sit on e6, and this is what happens in the game. So for that reason, I think that gives me an advantage because my bishop is a better piece. And the computer agrees. Of course, it's a slight advantage, but it's something. But here I thought, you know, this is a game I can press and maybe win. Who knows? Okay, I played f4. Computer wants a4. I was afraid to commit my pawn, giving up this square, because I thought he could go here, here, here. So why is the computer not afraid of that? Let's see, a5. It says here I should just play rook e5. Oh, not rook c5, rook e5. Okay, and if I'm going to win the pawn, that's what the computer's saying. I would have to trade here. No time to bring the knight. And now I win the pawn. Well, that's worth letting the knight get to b4. So calculation. I had to calculate this. I don't think I saw the move rook e5 at all, though. I'll be honest with you. Don't think I saw it. I would think he would play f6 there. Says no problem, rook e3. Okay, then what about this plan? Again, we take. Now the bishop's hanging. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm learning that. That's one thing I like about looking at this with the engine. It's like I saw this idea of knight here, but the computer shows me through calculation why that's not a threat. And it's because of this rook e5 move. And if f6, it undefends the bishop. I can just step back and say, haha, you undefended your bishop. So, okay, let's continue with how I played. I went f4. The idea is king f2 at some point. Okay, g6. Computer still wants a4. Yeah, I had a hard time deciding what to do in this moment. I have two choices, I thought. I didn't even consider a4 because of what I said. I think I could play knight f3 and be passive. Or I could play knight f1 and try to attack. So let's see what the computer says about both these. Knight f1 it doesn't like because of knight b5. And that is why I didn't play knight f1. So I'm kind of happy to see that. Knight f3 it likes. So that is the right choice. Just understand that this pawn's going to come under attack. And the bishop will never defend it. I mean, if I can get my king, oops, if I could get my king this way to d3, I think he's the best defender of the pawn. But then I always have to worry about checks, and the rooks are on the files, so I thought it had to be the knight. Okay, f6 was played. Let's wrap up this game, right? I feel like we've learned a lot. Did play king f2. This was all well and good. And here comes the moment. So knight b5. Attacking the pawn, but I have it defended. But he had a different idea with this move. I went ahead and doubled. And he played knight d6. Now, this has happened to me before, and this is lack of tournament chess lately that I think caused this particular blunder. But the first thing I saw was, oh, watch out, he's going to fork me. The second thing I thought, though, was, oh, also knight c4. I have to be mindful of that. Then I thought, oh, knight here is a thing, too. Can I play a3 and do this later if I need to? And after I thought a good 5 minutes or so, I totally forgot about the original threat. So let this be a lesson to me and everyone out there. When you have a long think and then you're about to make your move, that's when you should stop and just quickly reassess again. Like, oh, am I making a blunder? Like, what could he do in response to this? And you know, it was like, as soon as I made my move, which was this, I can't believe I played that. I'm like, oh, knight e4, knight e4, you know, and of course he played it. Just a notorious blunder. So all of my deep calculation and all of my deep ideas and thoughts and opening principles, none of that matters if you blunder a fork. So I have to keep that in mind, that maybe I'm trying to think more deeply than I need to, and maybe just watch out for the things that matter most, like checks, captures, forks. So I lost an exchange. I don't think the game's, no, I do think the game's over, actually. I actually thought he could play this move. He didn't. This would have been really humiliating. If I go here, I get forked again. If I go here, he comes back. Now he's going to fork again. So I would actually have to go... where do I go? Ugh, I don't have a good move, I don't think. If I go here, there's discoveries. I thought this would be just fine. I would probably just resign here, to be honest. Or I'd want to resign. I wouldn't, but I would want to. But he did take the rook. Okay, so he takes. Yeah, and I like the way he played this part because he gave me no chance. He's just going to stick his bishop here. and then play rook e2 check. That should do the trick. So I tried to stop his idea. Then he just took the knight. I figured, hey, I have a queenside pawn majority. Let's play for that. I really doubt it will work. Yeah, the rook came down. So now I'm going to try to okie doke because there's nothing. Some people call it cheapos. I call it okie doke, but okie doke chess is like, oh, okay. But so I took here because if he takes the bishop, I thought maybe, just maybe, he'll do something like this and then I win, which isn't even true. So he could play, yeah, he could just check me, right? So that doesn't work anyway, but it was a nice thought. I didn't have anything else to try, so this is how the game ended. Might as well try to make a queen, but it's pretty easy to stop. Yeah, and I'm a jokester, right? I promoted to a knight. This is how I ended the game. Okay, and I'm pretty sure here I resigned. So, painful game, but lesson learned. I think I just textbook overthought this game. And I think I even did that in the analysis, but now looking back, I mean, I could have shown this game in 5 minutes and said, don't blunder forks. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm learning. I want to be a strong chess player, so all the deeper stuff matters. I also enjoy it. But I do need to focus on not making blunders. That has definitely got to be highest priority. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this game. I think that's enough. I'll be back with more chess. Have a good night. Bye.